And ladies and gentlemen, this time we bring in one of the greatest coaches this valley has ever encountered. A gentleman who loves the game of baseball, who loves his dear family, and hates losing, but more than anything, hates jogger pants. At this time, we bring in Canfield's finest, the baseball program head honcho, Matty Weymer. What's up, Coach?
I don't know if any of that's true outside of the jogging pants and the family part. I think that's accurate. I'll go with that.
Congratulations on what a successful season. What a roller coaster season it has been for you and the Cards this year. I mean, you've seen the best of times. You've seen the worst of times. All things set aside, you guys put yourself in the catbird seat. Thurman Munson Stadium tonight, 5 o'clock, right here on YSN. You will be taking on the Hubbard Eagles. Talk to me about kind of in your world, in your mind, how you got here.
I mean, I think roller coaster's pretty, a pretty wise statement there. I mean, I've been on staff here for a couple of years, and we've had some real dominant regular seasons in terms of win totals and performances, and this year, especially we were 9-4 at one point, and I think at the draw we were 10-8, and we had lost 4 of 5 at that point, and I think when you talked to Boom, he had talked about there was no panic within our program. And I think the kids really showed that, we knew that we were missing a really big piece with Tanner Stricko. He was coming back shortly. And then we kind of knew that we could kind of get on a run. We preach a lot about 3 weeks in May and playing well at the end of the season when it really matters. And, the guys just really stuck to the plan. There wasn't a game that we lost where we didn't know why we lost it. So despite the record being, somewhat disappointing, I think everyone knew that if we could fix the things that we needed to fix and get a little bit healthier, we would be in a good spot. And I was just looking the other day, I think with Tanner, we're 12-1, and without him, we were 8-9. So, the guys that we asked to fill his shoes did a great job. But, Tanner's a 3-year guy, an 18-year-old senior, a guy who's been through the wars for us, and you just can't replace that easily. So having him back and just kind of the mojo that he gives us and the way the guys have rallied all year, very, very satisfying to see them finally get over the hump and win the district.
One of the things we've seen from this team this year, Coach, is they've proven they can kind of win in both ways. We've seen them win some offensive games where they've had to score to win the game. We've also seen them win pitchers' duels where it's really low scoring. What does that say about this group, that whatever kind of game they get into, they can find a way to win?
Yeah, obviously I'm a pitching guy at heart, so I love low-scoring games. And, this year there were just some moments where we didn't throw the ball that well. And our offense was kind of always there to keep us in it, give us a chance to win. The last couple of weeks is maybe even the last month is some of the best offensive baseball I've ever been a part with as a coach. 1-9, the kids grind out great at bats. We have a ton of extra base potential in our lineup. We've just always been able to kind of come up with the big hit when we needed it. And in the last couple of weeks, when the tournament starts, it's not so much about the big hit as much as it is sometimes about execution. So, getting the bunt down or moving the guy to third base or hitting the sac fly or get it, whatever is required, team at bats. We've really done a really good job at that. And, pitching wise, again, we've had our struggles, but again, when the tournament started, the guys really showed up. I mean, we gave up 0 runs to Coventry, and we gave up 2 runs to Marlington, and then 5 to Field, but that was a different story there at the end. And, we've thrown the ball really well, but, when you advance in the tournament, you're always going to see the best that every team has to offer. So that, the fact that we do feel really confident with our lineup, I think, gives us a huge edge. Our pitchers don't feel the need to go out there and give up 0 runs. There's always that chance that if we hold the fort defensively and on the mound, that our offense will kind of do what it's been doing.
Naturally, you've got to be incredibly excited, being the pitching psychopath that you are for tonight's matchup. I mean, it's got to be Songer. I'm guessing the big lefty groaner on the bump for the Cards tonight. I mean, that's got to have you salivating. That's got to have you excited as a guy that loves pitching at heart.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to throw Anthony tonight. And, we don't know what Hubbard's going to do, but we saw Songer pitch a couple times, and we got there they were playing the game in front of us in the district finals. So we got to see him a little bit more. And I mean, he's as advertised, just a real competitor, just a bulldog, someone who takes the ball and he wants all 125 of those pitches every time he goes out there, and he doesn't care how long it takes. And it's going to be a real challenge. We saw him last year in the district semifinal when we beat him. He came in relief, and he's only gotten stronger and better as the time goes on. And, we talked a lot about our guys, about just grinding out at bats, swinging to strikes, putting the ball in play. He's a guy who gets a tremendous amount of strikeouts, and, you got to try to win that battle to limit the amount of times that we go back to the dugout with the bat on our shoulders, make them make the plays and, just kind of go about it that way. And if it's not Songer, Rusnick's he's not a slouch either. This is a team that has a lot of great pitching, and the Reyes behind the plate does a great job catching as well. And that's really a package deal for them. When you have great pitching and catching as we do, as well, that's what really allows you to control the game. You can limit your base runners. If the team runs a lot, you have a great catcher, so that puts a little damper on that as well. And they got a great battery, no matter who's on the mound. And with Reyes behind the plate, they're very, very good.
Coach, we're talking about how your team had a roller coaster year, but one of the things that does is makes you guys very battle tested. I don't think there's a lot of situations that could pop up that this team hasn't been through this year. How much have you seen this group kind of lean on that experience and that being battle tested through this tournament run so far?
Yeah, I mean, we came out and played. We came out and played two really great games with Coventry and Marlington. Got early leads and kind of just, we were able to push that, to put the nail in the coffin a little earlier, kind of get to a point where we were comfortable. And we kind of did the same thing with Field up until that last inning. We've just done a really good job of feeling the game out, cashing in on our opportunities, and just understanding that, every game, like you said, is going to be different. Some games it's going to start. I think we scored like 4 runs in the second inning with Marlington. So we got out to a big lead. And then with Field, it was 0-0 going into the fourth. And then we scored 3 and they scored 2. And we're like, hey, 7th inning, let's tack on some runs. We put on 4 runs in the 7th inning, which was great. And, I think the more baseball you play, just the more, that's how I learned how to coach. When I was 18 years old, I basically in the B League, I was just a pitcher. So I used to go to all the games and I would just think about, what different situations call for, what kind of game situations you're going to find yourself in one day. And you just think about what you would do in those spots. And our guys have really done a great job of just learning that way. I think the more experiences you get with guys on the corners, or what are we going to do here? What's my expectation if I get up at the bat and we got first and second? Am I going to be asked to bunt? Just kind of playing the game in their heads before those moments pop up. I think it's really been helpful for our guys, and we hope to get a couple more. This is the district title for us was a really big hurdle we wanted to accomplish this year. And I think we did that. And I told the kids yesterday, this is a tough time of year because everything around you is telling you that this year is over. Kids are graduating, school's out, graduation parties are happening, summer ball is calling, and everyone's telling you that, high school for 2025 is over. And we're still very much trying to keep it going. So that can be a challenge for kids at times. But this is all about getting greedy at this point. We did the hard part. We got through the district. That's what we wanted to do. And now you get in the regional and you're, as much as you're like, wow, what a great season, you're only 2 games from going to the Final Four, which is, where every program ultimately wants to end up. So I think our kids are relaxed. I think they're excited to be this close. And I think they're going to play a great game tonight.
I mentioned in the intro, that you are the ultimate family man, as I know you best. So, I mean, the picture that I put out there for this promotion of the interview is you and Phil. Talk to me about, obviously you have to sacrifice a lot of time this time of year specifically with your lovely family, your lovely wife and your son. So, what are the lessons you hope that Phil takes away in these moments necessarily from this crew and from this coaching staff and from you specifically that you hope he'll carry the rest of his days?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really loaded question. I think any coach would tell you that coaching, especially at a place like Canfield where we run a very extensive program, I think puts a lot of stress on your family. My wife's always encouraged me to coach, so I have that benefit. And then, when we decided to have a family, we were hoping to have more than just Phil, and that's not the way it turned out. So, having the baseball team for Phil is like his older siblings. And, in the off season, he comes around all the time. He was able to be in the dugout for some of the scrimmages, probably a little too young to be the bat boy yet, but just, he gets to be around those kids. He gets to wear the clothes, wear the hat, the baseball boys. And he gets to experience all of that and the wonder and the excitement and, the joy he takes from that, like, winning the district and celebrating and then turning around and seeing him run out onto the field and, give you the big hug, almost knocked me over actually. Like that stuff you just.
My boy Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Good explosion. Yeah, it was really good. Maybe I was just a little weaker from the inning that we had just gone through. Maybe that was the problem. But it's been so much fun. And obviously my mom and dad are around a lot too, which is great. I mean, my mom is, kind of where I got that love of baseball from. And it's just a real cool experience, and I didn't know if I was going to get that chance again to kind of have the ability to bring Phil around and to have him be around baseball this much. And my wife will tell you more than me, it's always, hey, can we go hit? Hey, can we go play catch? Hey, can we go do that? It's just, he's falling in love with the game in front of my eyes and giving him the experience to be around our team has been great. And, as awesome as it is that I get to do that, it's really an exclamation point with the way our kids react to him. Just, he really does feel like those are his big brothers, and they're so kind and they're so empathetic and they're so understanding, and they want him to come on the bus and they want to give him a high five, and they've been so great with him all year, and that's really made it fun.
Coach, in your earlier answer, you talked about graduation, and that can be hard for these seniors to kind of have the end of the high school, but not be end of high school baseball. But it hasn't affected your seniors at all. This is a great group of young leaders. Can you talk about how much you've leaned on these seniors and what they've meant to this program and what kind of legacy you see them leaving for the future of the Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, coaches are obviously important. They play a role, but players really drive programs. The best programs are the ones where the players kind of run it themselves. We come up with practice plans and we come up with strategies and things that we want to do in a certain game or certain situation. But in the end, the best teams are the ones where the players just love being around each other. They want to do the right thing because they know it'll help the team win. And we have 8 seniors who have kind of been through a lot of different scenarios. Some of them have been multiple year varsity guys, all league guys, all district guys, and some of them have gotten the taste of the varsity this year for the first time. We even had Seth Walker, who transferred in from Heartland Christian and joined our team this year, so we have that aspect as well, just that we have, it's his first time through the program. And with me as a head coach, even though again I was on staff here before, there are always things that you are going to want to change, whether it be terminology or just belief structures or how you want to run things. And when you go to those 8 people and you're like, here's what I need you to do, you really hope that they buy in, because I think for a lot of players, especially seniors with a new coach, it would be very easy for them to be selfish. I don't want this to change during my last year. Why can't you just do this next year when I'm gone? It's very hard to put that on kids when you're like, hey, we still have all of the same goals that we've always had as a program, but now I want you to do it a little bit differently. And, those kids accepted it from day one. And, not that winning one district title is a blank check by any means, but I hope that they're satisfied that they get to put that number up on the banner in the gym and at our field. And it's a real testament just to the wars that they have been through. And, there's just a lot of emotion when we won the district, I think, for all of our kids, but especially for those seniors. We've put a lot of kids in the college ranks in the last couple of years, and I don't know how many people thought this would be the team that got us over that hurdle. And I know for those seniors, they felt they were a bit overlooked, and they're the ones that got it done. So that's something that they'll always have. That's something that we'll always remember, and they get the credit for that.
Manny, I can't thank you enough, man. We're so excited for you. We're so excited for this game tonight. I know, even though you are always kind of even keel, there's part of you that's ready.
I know I'm down like 10 pounds this spring from anxiety and stress and that kind of thing. So I'm not even keeled on the outside. Sure. Yeah, that's what we'll go with.
Oh, hey, I know. I get it. I understand it.
It is. I do. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off there, but it's, I just want to say like how exciting it is for our area. You know, we got 3 teams out of the 4 here that are in this regional. It's kind of weird for sure, because in the old days you would have played all of these teams in your district and then you would have gone to the regional. But with the way that the super brackets and all that stuff works now, it's very weird on one hand, but it's also very satisfying. You know, Hubbard and Girard obviously have had great years, and to put Youngstown kind of on the map tonight, and hopefully we have 2 representatives, but we'll definitely have 1 for sure in the regional final on Thursday. And so if we could get a team to state, that would be great.
We're rooting for you all. We really are. And we thank you for short notice jumping on the show today. We know you got a lot to do. So, brother, we hope we can do another one here very, very soon. Congratulations on all your success and continued here tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt will